happy little tombstone. Put a little brown in there as well. You know, happy trees and bushes. You know, make this tombstone look a little mossy. Yeah. Some techniques that I saw on the YouTube. Happy little tombstone. Happy little tombstone. Hey everybody, how you guys doing out there today? Welcome to another episode of Halloween at the Manor. I'm really sorry about that Bob Ross impersonation. That was terrible. Actually, when I was a kid, I was fascinated with Bob Ross. I used to watch his show, and I just could never get over how he looked like he was doing absolutely nothing and then made these beautiful works of art. It's incredible. But anyway, this is going to be a different episode today. Around this time of the year, around mid-August, I start to go through our tombstones that we use in our graveyard. And I start to pull them out and kind of, do some repairs here and there, repaint, repairs. And I pulled a few out that we're going to look at. And honestly, two of them that I pulled out, I don't know if they're going to make it this year. One, actually, when I was bringing it up, I grabbed it by a weird way, and it actually cracked. It actually broke off. And then the nameplate on our Michael Myers stone, which I'm not a real big fan of anyway, broke. So I may have to either come up with a new tombstone idea or try to fix that. But anyway, that's what we're going to be doing today. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to have to make a new tombstone for the one that broke or not, but I guess we're just going to have to see. So we'll see what you guys think. Hopefully this you guys like it. If not, I'm sorry. But let's get going. My original plan was to make a brand new tombstone, and it was going to be for none other than Lizzie Borden. I don't know why, but her name kept popping to my head. When I mentioned it to Vanessa, she loved the idea. I went ahead and I made a nameplate for her stone. But when the Myers nameplate cracked, I decided instead of making a brand new stone, why not just repurpose the old one? And that's exactly what I ended up doing. I will have to repaint the new Borden stone and redo the moss technique you saw me doing earlier. So this is just a closer look at the moss technique you saw me doing earlier. I can't take any credit for it because I did see someone else do it on YouTube. Basically, you use different shades of greens and browns. You can also mix in some black and gray as well. Put a very, very small amount on your brush and then kind of dab it onto the stone. Mix in the other colors and make it look however light or dark you'd like. Here is what the Lizzie Borden stone looks like finished. On YouTube, they also sprayed adhesive to the stone and glued on some fake moss from the dollar store. I want to try that next and see what it looks like. I was in the process of fixing up another one of my older tombstones. It's actually the one in this picture in the middle. Unfortunately, it broke as well, so I decided to make a new one. On the older one, I tried to do my best attempt at a Celtic cross, and it turned out okay. But over the years, I feel like my skills have improved, so this time around, I'm going to really try to make an actual Celtic cross. As you can see, I laid out the design on this 2x4 sheet of exterior plywood, and I'm going to cut it out using a miter saw. Now, I'm not sure if I will leave it as is, or if I'll build some layers onto it to give it some added thickness. I have to apologize, I forgot to take video as I was making the Celtic cross tombstone. At this point, the build is completed. In the circle area, using the Dremel, I carved out the wood surrounding the knot shapes so they would pop. I did decide to add layers to give it some thickness. I attached the plywood to the front and back of the original cross I had mapped out earlier. For the base, I started with 2x4s and attached them directly to the actual cross. I then added 2x2 inch wood around the 2x4s to give it that level look, and finished everything off by attaching everything to two 2x6 inch pressure treated pieces of wood. I did wood fill what I could, but once again I ran out. Overall, I think it came out really nice. The next step will be to paint the stone. I finished painting the stone. What I decided to do is paint the dremeled areas in the circle a darker gray color. I just mixed the gray and the black color together. I'm going to let this dry overnight. I think the next step will be playing around with trying to make the stone look older. I don't know if I will try the moss technique on this one yet or not. I have a few ideas I'm playing around with. So there's something that I wanted to try. When I was I went to Walmart today and got some paints. I was actually out of white, and I happened to pick up a sponge. And what I wanted to try to do is, I saw some techniques where if you put a little bit of paint on the sponge, you can, that didn't look good, you can get it to kind of look more like concrete. I guess I'll have to play around with that, but I'm thinking about doing that with this stone here, with this Celtic cross, using like some whites and some blacks to try to make this look more like a concrete. So I'm gonna play around with this some more, and I guess it's my first time doing it, so I'm gonna have to play around and see how it looks. But that's what I'm thinking about doing. So I started playing around with the sponge, using the sponges with the black and the white on the gray, and it does actually look like concrete here. Might not be easy to see it, but it does look like, it's really cool looking actually. It does look like a granity concrete with the little bits of white and the black in there. And all I was doing is just kind of taking the sponge here, so I have like a whole bunch of white, and I was just kind of going like this. Kind of dabbing it on here. And then kind of sometimes twisting it to give it that look here. It's actually kind of cool looking, so I'm gonna keep doing that with this and see what I got, and then maybe this is what I'll go with for this stone. Maybe I'll use make it look like a granite. You know, leave all of the Dremel pieces that dark gray, but then the rest of this look granite. So I'll get back with you guys here in a second. Here are the two tombstones that I just finished. What I did was on the Celtic cross, I did that sponge technique, and it came out really, really cool. It actually looks like it's stone, and I ended up doing a little bit on the board and stone as well to go along with the moss technique. So I think these actually came out really, really cool. I think I might have to go and get some more sponges, because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that on all the other ones as well that I have downstairs to make it look like this. But these came out really, really cool. Very happy with these. So the next stone that we're going to work on is our Freddy Krueger stone. And you can see this stone, this is probably one of the first stones I ever made. And what's different about this one is that this here is actually foam. This is actually the Freddy Krueger tombstone that you could buy like from a spirit or something. But it was like the one that was like sits on the ground. And I didn't like that. I wanted to give him his actual stone. So what I ended up doing was I built this tombstone, and I actually just put this inside of it. And what I did was I used this trim here to cover the gap, which, you know, it sucks because Freddy Krueger growing up, I grew up in the 80s, and I think Freddy Krueger back then was probably my favorite, you know, horror villain, horror character. And, you know, so I'm trying my best to make his stone better. We did have the base crack here, so what I did was I put some trim around that to cover that up. I wood filled some more, basically just trying to get this to look good again. What I ended up doing is I ended up putting wood filling actually inside the foam to see if that would, you know, pop the letters out more. This one also has like scratches from his glove, and it does say never sleep again. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that out of there or not, but I want to paint this and, you know, try to get this back to looking good. Like I said, he was one of my personal favorites as a kid, and I think one or two Halloweens I actually dressed up like him too. So I'm going to be working on this one next. Yesterday I painted the Freddy Krueger stone gray, and after I was done, I started to do the sponge technique that I did on the Celtic cross with the black and the white paint. I let it dry, and then today I came out, and while I was working on another project, I had a paintbrush that had some gray and white in it. And I very gently ran that paintbrush over the stone to make it look a little bit lighter, and it did the job perfectly. The other thing I did yesterday was I took some black paint and very lightly went over the letters in his name to make those pop out a little bit more. I think this stone looks great now. It looks way better than it did before. All right, guys, I just wanted to kind of end the video here, give you guys one last quick look at how the stones came out. So this here is the Freddy Krueger stone. This here is the Celtic cross that I made to look more like a granite. Here is the Borden stone that I wanted to make look mossy. I also worked on two other things this week. I have a stone that I built last year for the Headless Horseman, and really all I did was I just did exactly what I did with the Borden stone back there. I just made it look mossy. However, on this one, what I did was Vanessa and I actually went to Gettysburg this week, and as we were driving by some of the older tombstones out there, we noticed that they were more yellow than like a green or a brown. So I just added in some Grinch green mixed in to kind of give it like a subtle yellow look. So I didn't take any video of this. And then the very last thing I did was last year I made this coffin groundbreaking prop with this vampire head, and all I really did was I just kind of messed around with the paint. Just added some black to it. It just needed repainted, and I also built the stuff so it looks like the vampire is exploding out of it. And that's all I really did with this. And I didn't take any video of it because I didn't really do all that much to it. It was basically just making it look like it exploded. If you guys have any questions that you'd like to know about how I did any of this stuff, feel free to leave in the comments section. I'd be more than happy to answer it. Vanessa and I really do appreciate you guys watching. Thank you very much. We hope you have a great rest of your day, and take care. We'll see you guys later.